Welcome, everyone, to this week's Piggyback Blog webinar. This week, we're covering Placester. There's a lot of new information out, and I want to make sure that all your questions and concerns are addressed. So this is the webinar to ask those questions, and if I don't have an answer, just so you know, I will find it out for you and follow up with you and let you know anything that you have a question about. Okay? So this is going to be concerning everything that I can find information-wise about Placester. So this is me. I'm Tracy. I'm the success coordinator here at Brandco. I'm a blogger. I help with the customer support here, and I do a lot of inbound marketing, essentially content making and social media marketing as well. So I have to ask, have you heard about the new KW websites? Because I know that there's a good possibility that you may not be fully aware or anything like that, and I love that everybody's saying yes. So if you haven't heard, you probably haven't been able to attend the last two conferences. The Mega Camp conference in Austin back last year is where they made the official announcement that they were going to be rolling out a new website. And at Family Reunion this year, they told us a little bit more. So we're just back from the KW Family Reunion, and they were announced some more information on the stage. The new Keller Williams websites are going to be provided by Placester. So Placester is a really cool, very up-and-coming company, and they're going to be working very hand-in-hand with Keller Williams in order to bring their website platforms up to date and be mobily responsive and everything in between. So let's learn a little bit about Placester. Placester is a responsive platform. That's why it's been so important over the past year or so. We've been pushing for any of those clients of ours that have the standard refresh, meaning that it's kind of still within that box, for you to move towards the responsive refresh, so that not only does it benefit your business because your website is mobile friendly, and that helps with SEO in turn, but to make you available to move to this new platform, as well as, if you just want to stay on Piggyback Blog. Placester utilizes a WordPress platform, just like Piggyback Blog. However, whenever you log into it, you will see something totally different. It is WordPress, but it doesn't look like our Piggyback Blog system does. That looks like native WordPress. The Placester platform is very specifically designed for you to navigate. So you're going to be able to find your way around very easily. Blogging is included. That's another great feature of the fact that WordPress is the platform in which Placester lives off of. Right out of the box, Placester gives you the option of 6 different themes. And there's a new one that's going to be available within the Keller Williams package that we will all be receiving at the time of rollout. And right now, Brandco is the only company that has the ability to customize the look of Placester websites. So you're in good company, right? All right, so let's take a look at one of the standard themes that you have the option of going with on Placester. The one I'm going to pull up is called Madison. And this is what a standard Placester site looks like. Now, Placester has its own IDX. So if you are currently using WolfNet, you have a couple of options that I'll bring up later. But if you're not with WolfNet, or you don't have any of that embedded stuff like the WolfNet WordPress plugin, Placester is going to bring you a couple of different options. As with any kind of website, there obviously is a standard or factory version, and then you're going to be able to add upgrades onto it depending on the things that you're really wanting for your business. The IDX within Placester utilizes something called natural language. So as you can see, in difference to most of our websites that include WolfNet, it doesn't have the city, the zip, the beds, the baths, and all that kind of stuff all separated. You can literally just write, 3 beds, 3 bed, and you can go 3-bedroom in Bristol County and just search for that specifically, and it'll know what you're looking for right off the bat. I do believe that the map search could be an additional charge, so please be aware there's a lot of different things that can happen between now and when you get your Placester website. However, the natural language search is something that is default and it comes with it. Let me go back to the home page. You're able to show your featured properties and do a lot of other additional customization in here, but it's not to the fact of what we utilize or we've done inside of eAgency as of yet. Now, when we build out these sites, they look completely different. Just like, a difference between a regular eAgency website and the ones that we redesign. And just so you know, I do see your questions, but I will answer them all at the end. And if I need to come back to anything that I've shown you throughout the webinar, I'll go back to it. Okay. So inside this, you're going to be able to change maybe the color that you're seeing up here at the top. You can add in your logo. You can change out the slideshow photos and things like that. But you're not able to really, get in there and customize the way that we can. So that takes me into the next information, which is what we've done with Placester. Do you feel like it's important to stand out from the pack? I mean, do you realize how important it is for you not to be one of the other cookie cutter molds and to actually show branding on your website, to actually not look like everyone else? All right. So far with most of these answers, I'm seeing that we're getting a resounding yes. A couple of people are saying no, and a couple are saying maybe, but 86% realize that it's very important to be different. So if you're given templates, the same templates that 150,000 other agents are given, how are you going to stand out? I mean, if you're working with Branco already, you probably already have a design. So you're going to want to continue using that design and bring that over and show the branding of your company and your business so that you don't look just like everyone else. So let's take a look at what we've done so far on Placester. Prior to Family Reunion, we decided to build out 5 of our responsive refreshes on the Placester platform. So I'm going to show you the 4 that we have in place. Now they are all utilizing the same MLS. I'm mixing the 2 words together. They're utilizing the same IDX because that's the only one that we had access to when we were playing around and building with this. So they're all showing Boston options, but there's a map search that's built in, and the natural language search is available on all of these. On top of that, you have the ability to build pages just like you do through Piggyback Blog. Just the same kind of thing, That's the great thing about this, is that if you have Piggyback Blog already, you're able to really figure your way around here. Now, one big difference is going to be how the blog can be displayed. Now, we all know how our Piggyback Blog blogs look whenever we post them. They're pretty much all in a row, and that's how they display, like, showing the full and complete blog post, unless you've inputted that whole README option when writing your post. They're all dated still, things like that. It's all still very similar, but it's a total different platform in order to be able to manage the whole thing. Next one over, we've got Agent ROC. We've got buyers and sellers underneath here. So let's go ahead and take a look at a buyer's page that she had built out. It's very easy to work with. Same thing with Vicky. Let's take their blog page. It's all utilizing the same information right now so that we can give you an idea of how everything looks and how everything works. Just to show that it is most definitely possible for us to bring your design into place inside of Placester if this is what you want. Now, we do give additional options when it comes to moving off the eAgency platform. And we've got Rick Rowan here. Let's go into his About Us page. and take a look inside there. Now, everything inside of here will be customizable. Like, we could make this bigger. There's a lot of things that can be changed out and played with. We have a lot of options when it comes to Placer's platform, and we're going to be able to do some really amazing things inside here. So let's go back to the slide real quick. Let's talk about the rollout and what's going to happen next when it comes to these Placer websites. Now, I know that a lot of people are saying that they already have it or they're early adopters. However, the version that you may have may not be the actual KW version that you'll be given. They're talking about the rollouts of these websites happening in March, and it should roll out in the speed of around 25,000 agents per week for 5 weeks. It's time to prepare for your move if you decide that you want to go over to Placer. And the best way to do that is to get your content ready. Move your content over to your piggyback blog. So if there's information inside of your e-agency website under like section that's 3.7, if you've built any pages inside of there, if you've filled out your bio under section 1.3 called your professional resume, if you've added testimonials or area links or service providers, any of that information that you want to take with you and you actually utilize on your website, go ahead and start building those out into pages on your piggyback blog. This is going to make your move a lot easier because we're going to be able to export and then import the information into place. Simple as that. Keep blogging. Don't think that just because you know that this Placer website is coming around that you need to stop and wait. Everything's going to be able to be exported from one place to the other, and I don't want you to lose that time. Right now, the people that are on Piggyback Blog are the people that have built SEO on their websites through Keller Williams, and that sets you apart. But whenever this Placer rollout happens, that everybody's going to have the option to be able to blog then. So everybody's going to be able to start earning all that SEO. Next, review your IDX inside of Placer. Now, I did speak to a couple of people at Family Reunion that were questioning whether or not they wanted to go to Placer or not. Now, there's always differences when it comes to the IDXs. And if you don't know, hopefully you do. An IDX is how your MLS is displayed on a website so that your general public can search through it. Now, if you are using WolfNet and you have the WolfNet plugin and you decide that you want to move to Placer, there's going to be a bit of a drop in your SEO because the ability to have those property listings that you've embedded into your blog posts is going to change, and those links are not going to exist any longer. But if you haven't been using it that much, that's okay. You can build up that SEO pretty quickly. Now, if you're going to check how much of your SEO is dependent on WolfNet, you can do so in a specific way, and I can show you that in a few minutes whenever I'm done going through this one slide. But that gives you here with us, if you are using Piggyback Blog already, we're giving people the opportunity to stay on Piggyback Blog. We would move your entire website over to Piggyback Blog, and you would live there indefinitely. You would still be able to utilize your WolfNet WordPress plugin, and all that SEO would still remain in place. Now, if you decide to go to Placer, that's fine too. It really depends on what works out best for you, and you're really the only other people that have the option of going one way or the other. I would also say to definitely stay up to date on what Brandco will have to offer. We've been talking with Placer, and as we've worked with so many of you for so many years, we know what our clients are looking for and what they really need if they want to build out their website. And a lot of those options Ken has been able to go through the list of all the offerings that Placer has and build out a specific package that Brandco specifically would be able to offer. So that's a big deal, and whenever we officially roll that out, you're going to want to know about it so that your able to access this package that we definitely think that you should need. Also, and last importantly, keep an eye on your SEO. Keep looking at your site index and go ahead and connect Google Analytics to your website so that you know what's going on from now, and then you can see if there is a change whenever you move over. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up for questions. For one quick second, I'm going to switch over, though, and show you something that I mentioned a few minutes ago. All right, so if you're curious and you want to know how your SEO is going and how it's affected by a specific thing, so let's say if I was going to do site colon, let me think of a website. If we're literally using the search domain piece within WolfNet, Utah Homes and Recreation.com. See, you can see here that this website isn't utilizing that, so they're not able to see if they're not going to be impacted if they move from utilizing WolfNet to going over to Placester. If you do a site colon and then your domain name afterwards, then it will show you everything that's indexed inside of your website. So if we do brandco.com, you'll see that there's 882 results. Now, inside of HubSpot, we're using a specific URL that's different than this. It has a different beginning. So if we do info.brandco.com, we can see the results that are specifically based within that. So that's what I would say. You can go search.yourdomain.com and usually tell whether or not or how many of your property pages are listed underneath your domain for your SEO, and see how big of an impact removing that plugin from your website is going to make. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here to this other screen and go ahead and open the floor for all the questions that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and start running through the ones that we have already. Jill asked if you can incorporate more than one MLS, and yes, you can. I did, however, ask them at Family Reunion. I was hoping that they would have this amazing, awesome answer, and that I'd be able to tell everybody about it, but it's just not happening yet. But you can use more than one MLS. More than one MLS cannot be combined into one singular search, though. What would happen is if you had, let's say, two MLSs, then you would have two separate natural language searches on the home page. It's not able to take one search string and search both MLSs for your answer. So I hope that answers your question, Jill. Next, Sharon asked, just want to make it clear, if we get Placester, no more piggyback blog and WolfNet, it will be replaced with WordPress and their own IDX. Technically, yes. Placester is WordPress. It's in there. And their IDX is theirs. So you wouldn't be utilizing piggyback blog any longer, because piggyback blog was built to piggyback off of the eAgency website to give you the ability to blog. Now, Placester already has that built into it. WolfNet will not be able to work inside of Placester because it has their own IDX and there's no ability to add in additional plugins. So you'll be using their IDX and their platform to blog. I hope that answers your question, Sharon. Angela, I hope that I started sounding a little bit better along the way. I am just getting back. This is my first day in the office from New Orleans, so I may be a little bit travel sick sounding, so I apologize if I just sound a little rough too. Robin asked, if we already have our Placester site and we have our Brandco refresh upgraded to responsive, can we go ahead and get it moved over? Actually, the Placester website that you probably have right now, Robin, is not going to be the full KW version that they're going to be rolling out, which means that the ability to bring over the information isn't there yet, and that's coming with this rollout. So right now, we can't do it until that official version rolls out, and then we're able to access your version of it to put it in there. Okay? Angela asked, if everyone is able to blog using Piggyback Blog, is there still going to be an extra fee for this feature? Right now, I'm paying additional for Piggyback Blog. Everybody pays additional for Piggyback Blog. whenever Placester comes along, you won't be using piggyback blog anymore because it'll be built into it unless you decide that you want to, keep WolfNet and stay on our platform, then it will still be the additional fee of $99 a year, which in I don't know if you've been around the floor at these trade shows and asked about the different prices for monthly fees for a lot of these other websites, and $99 is really good in comparison. Maria asked if keeping Piggyback Blog, the WolfNet plugin will be extra money. It'll stay the same. It'll stay the same as it has always been. If you have Piggyback Blog, it's still going to be the same price. If you already have the WolfNet plugin for Piggyback Blog, this is going to be the same. So if you don't already utilize the WolfNet plugin, then you're not paying for it. But if you decide that you want to put it on there, you'd have to pay extra. Angela asked again, what do we have to transfer to our blog? Bio, testimonials, and what else? Anything that you've changed on your website is the big thing. If there's anything that's custom in there, move it over. If it's the default page that Keller Williams gave you from the beginning, it probably isn't that big of a deal for you to move it over. I would actually suggest, like, if you wanted a buyer's or a seller's page, to just go in there and rewrite yourself a buyer's and a seller's page, because then it's unique and you're actually going to earn SEO off of it. But yeah, anything that you see in there that you've actually added to or you maintained at all on your own, then that's the information you definitely want to carry over with you over to Placester. Jill asked, what about our results page? Jill, could you actually clarify that answer for me? I'm not quite sure what I could best answer for that. Sharon said it's difficult to decide. I want the new look with Placester, but I am so used to using Piggyback Blog, especially that I am so focused on blogging. Now, you'll still have blogging inside of Placester. It's the main function and the main reason why you would want it. But on top of that, like, we're all used to using Piggyback Blog at this time. And the thing is that, what you've been using inside of Piggyback Blog is very much what native or the normal WordPress looks like. Now, Placester has, in lack of a better way to say it, dumbed it down a little bit for you. So if you're used to like going in and making sure all your SEO is like completely greenlit and all that information is good to go, if you're used to that and you want to add alt text to all your images and everything else, then it's there. I would stay with Piggyback Blog. If you want things a little bit more simplified, I would say move to Placester. The way I've been saying it, and I'll say it this way, on this webinar and at every trade show from now on, that get in and test it out for yourself and see if it's something that you want to use before you make the definitive decision to move your design over in place. That's the best way I can say it. Get in, give it a go, and then if you want it, then let's move it. If you don't, then we'll move you fully over into Piggyback Blog. All right, and Jill asked, how do we move info from eAgency to Piggyback Blog? I did a webinar back last year about moving pages. The easiest way to move your info over from eAgency to Piggyback Blog would be the simplest function in the world, which is to copy and paste. The best thing to do if you're moving content, so let's go ahead and open up another page and I'll show you how I would easily move stuff over. And I would do so as pages. So let's go ahead and create a new page. So inside of pages, let's look at, let's say, the buyer's resources page. I don't want to bring that over. Let's say our background. So, okay, there's some actual info here. All right, so this would be our info page. I would just highlight it, copy it, paste it, and then I'd highlight it again and use the erase button. The reason I would do that is because it brings over all this weird stuff. See that span here and here and the color is bringing over? I don't want that because the coding already knows what it wants to be. without it. So whenever you bring anything over with paste, you want to go ahead and click the clear formatting to get rid of that funky stuff that's going to mess up your site. Or you can title it anything you want. You don't have to, you're not stuck to the names that it's called over on eAgency. Be original. You're fine doing that. And ta-da, that brought everything over. So now we've got, you know, this page versus this page. So that's how I would say moving things over would be the easiest. Just copying and pasting. You can make them live. You can make them drafts. It really doesn't matter. But getting the info in place is important. Marina asked, if keeping PBB, then what IDX will we use as the plugin? We're using WolfNet. WolfNet is already put in there, but it is an additional fee to get the product key in order to be able to utilize it. If you don't already have this, I suggest just moving to Placester. That's all. I mean, keeping WolfNet is one of the main reasons I would say that you want to stay on Piggyback Blog. Someone asked at Family Reunion, they said all of the Placester listings will be indexable. I'm not 100% on that, but if they are, that's fantastic. Let's click on one of the ones in here. So yeah, it looks like it is. I just clicked on one of the listings inside of the ones that we built out. It's utilizing the IDX. So indexable means that it's going to add to your SEO. So you're going to see it show up in your search engines based on the URL that's given. So you're going to want it. And it's essentially the same kind of thing that the WolfNet WordPress plugin does for you. It's just that I believe it's just built in. Okay, and Robin asks, okay, in that case, can I go ahead and copy content? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and do that as much as possible so that you're ready to migrate over, or to either location. If you want to go to Placester, it's already there, and we can export it into Placester whenever the time comes. Or if you decide to go into Piggyback Blog, you're going to need your information inside there for whenever eAgency goes away by the end of the year. Then everything's still there, and you don't have to worry about losing anything. And Angela asked, is there no point for Piggyback Blog with Placester? Correct. Piggyback Blog was built to accommodate the ability to blog on the eAgency website. Placester already has the ability to blog. So in turn, it's like Placer's like eAgency and Piggyback Blog built together already. I guess is the best way I can put it. Jill asked, will both IDXs show on our results page? From what I know, I would say yes. It looks like the way that it's coded in the URL, that it's going to give you the information that you need to put into the search engine results. We have a page that shows our current listings. I believe there's a featured properties area on one of these. Let me get to it. That's pulling the sellers or the listings for that specific agent. Well, it's not pulling for this agent because we're using a random IDX right now. It's not exactly theirs. Get back to the right one that I'm trying to talk about. I know I saw featured listings somewhere. So it has to be the one that's not showing. Like you can have a page that shows your current listings, and each one of those pages that you go into would show each listing. Well, I guess I'm making, oh, it was Madison. Madison showed the featured listings. There we go. So you're able to show your featured listings through there. I'm sure there's a way to put your featured listings in a specific page as well. From one IDX, can this page show both IDXs? I think that what will happen is it's going to show the featured properties for your specific agent ID, but that's something I can ask and get clarified for you, Jill. Um, and yeah, let me come back to that, Jill. I get a like printout of all the questions that were asked. So let me follow up with you about the dual MLSs and utilizing them in a single page. Okay. Angela, additional ask, can you do additional webinars after the Placester rollout when we can actually see our own website changes online? Oh, most definitely. I don't plan on going away. The webinars will still be continuing in what real capacity. I'm not quite sure if I'll have to do additional ones that are specific to Piggyback blog versus ones that are for Placester and then ones that are just general blogging information, but webinars aren't going to go away anytime soon. So when you did the site xyz.com, it's the same here. Yes, it's the same inside of Placester as it is inside of Piggyback blog / eAgency. Your results are still going to show up inside of search engines and index underneath your domain name. Okay. For the background, you just copied and pasted into the blog. Can you make this a regular link in your menu bar? I still want users to easily access my background from homepage menu bar, not through my blog. Oh, well, yeah. If you decide that you want to move over to specifically Piggyback blog, you're going to be able to have access to manipulating your menu through there. It's going to be easier. Now, the reason why I say, I mean, that link is still going to work and you're going to be able to access your My Background the way I just showed you, both ways. But the thing is that we're doing this to prepare to move to one location or the other. Now, whenever you move over to Placester, when we export that content in there, now it may have a different URL. So I wouldn't link to it until you know for sure if you're moving to Placester or if you're moving to fully onto Piggyback. So as of right now, I would just say move the content and then do all that linking that you're talking about, Angela. Robin asked, so we shouldn't put it in the early adopter site, though. No, I wouldn't put it in the early adopter site because from what I hear, it's going to be a little bit of a lack of a better word, pain to move from the early adopter site to the new KW platform that they're going to be available. So like I said, moving the content into the Piggyback blog is the easiest thing right now. To do that, you're going to be able to export and import everything all at one time when you have the KW website. Sharon asks, I am sorry, but what does indexable mean? Indexable means that like whenever you're searching for something inside of Google, everything that's in there is said to be indexed, meaning that if you search for something that it added to the list of pages or posts or the information links that you have inside of your website that search engines can give as results. So if we let me just do Brandco. You can see that there's all these results inside here. So if we're inside of there, then we can click on any of these and go into them. A great way to tell what your site index is, meaning all the pages that are indexed within your site, is to do site : and your domain name. No www in front of everything on that. That'll tell you everything that's indexed within that domain name. Okay? So at that point, you're able to see all the things that are indexed. If you have listings that are indexable, they're going to add to the pages that search engines are able to index or provide for your website. All right, Jill had a question, how do we get our sample Placester page? Oh, wait till the rollout happens and you'll see, you'll be giving it at that time. It seems to me that what's going to happen is that the people that have the easiest to work with MLSs are going to be getting it first, and then the rollout should happen in fully by the end of May. That's what we hope. So whenever you receive it, I'm sure you'll get an email, and at that point, you'll be able to go in and look around and play with it. Donna asks, Do we know that e-agency is going away at the end of the year? Yes, they're talking about it happening in quarter 4. So for me, I would just say that's around the end of the year and to be prepared for it to be gone. Um, Sharon asked, you mentioned you can try Placer first. How does it work? I mean, to whom should we talk to if we want to try it first before we decide to get in? Well, whenever you receive the information saying that your Placer site is ready for you, or you get your logins for Placer, that's what I mean. Go in there and log in, play around with it and see if it's what you like or if not. If it is what you like and you have a responsive refresh, talk to us, and then we'll be able to, move all your content and your design over into it. Okay? Maria asked, how much time before the pull the plug on the whole e-agency WolfNet combo? Like I said, by the end of the year for e-agency, WolfNet says that they have a contract up until um, next year or more for e-agency free URLs to be indexed or added to for their IDX to be on an e-agency website. So there's a lot of questions there that aren't completely answered. But what I would say is if you're using WolfNet, the WordPress plugin, then continue utilizing it. If that's the case, there's no price difference to worry about. We're just going to move you over your full website over there, so you won't have to worry about playing around with that e-agency platform in the back end any longer. If you go to the next question, does Placer have an IDX lister like WolfNet does? What do you mean an IDX lister? Can you verify that for me, Nathan? I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Susan asked if they are not indexed, how can that be changed? Are you meaning that your current listings inside of WolfNet aren't IDX or indexed? How can that be changed? I'm not quite following the question, Susan. If you have already designed my Placer page, I have already designed my Placer page. How can I begin to move over brand code materials? Okay. How can I move Piggyback Blog over? The ability to move over Piggyback Blog is not available until the KW website rollout happens. Until then, there hasn't been an ability for you to import your content into Placer. Nathan says a list of properties that gets updated for you regularly. Oh, yeah, that's available inside of Placer already. That's there. Marina says, I have custom searches all over the place. This means I have to customize all of that all over again within blogs and posts if I take the Placer IDX. Yes, that's exactly what it means. So if you have a lot of custom searches already in place, Marina, my suggestion would be to stay on Piggyback Blog and then maybe utilize your Placer website as a niche for a specific area or something, because you're going to be given the website anyways, just like e-agency was given to you and Market Leader was given to you. But you would have to rebuild all those searches because you're going to be using a different IDX provider. People add it to their blog posts. Exactly. That is something that we're saying that's going to be available within the package that we're looking to offer within the next couple of weeks whenever the rollout starts happening. Susan says she's a tester. Are you a tester for the actual KW version, or are you a tester for Placer in general? And you're welcome, Nathan. Yeah, I feel your pain, Marina. Nobody wants to build out all those searches again. Susan, I'd like to speak with you after the webinar so that maybe we can talk about and maybe give me access to this Placer website so that I can get in, look around, and see if those options are available in there. If not, then there may be some things that you still are going to be waiting for with the full rollout. So let's get in touch a little bit after the webinar. I'll send you an email and we'll schedule a time to talk, okay? So I think I have finally fielded all the questions, and I know there's going to be more. But I'm always available. If you have any questions, please get in contact with me. If I don't have the question, if I don't have the answer, Ken will have the answer. If Ken doesn't have the answer, Placer's going to have the answer. If Placer doesn't have the answer, TW is going to have the answer. And Marina, don't have palpitations. We'll take care of you. um, it's going to be fine, especially if you've been using Piggyback Blog and you're already using the WolfNet plugin. A move to Piggyback Blog fully is the best option for you. You're going to be given Placester anyways, so at that time, just utilize that in a different way. Um, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to send me an email, tracy@brandco.com. Calling me, unfortunately, you're usually going to have to leave me a voicemail and I will answer them when I have the opportunity. If you do want to speak on the phone, the best way to go about it is to schedule an appointment with me. And the link to do that at would be at calendly.com/beatco_Tracy. And one last question I'll ask. Since I recently signed up when Kim was at our office, am I under PBB with WolfNet or Placer with WordPress? Right now, you would be under WolfNet, but let me look into some things, Jill, and I'll get back into touch with you. Okay? So I will follow up by email by the end of the day for both you and Susan regarding the questions that you had that were a little bit more specific. Okay? And with that, that will conclude today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, like I said, I urge you to get into contact with me and I can help you out with anything you have any questions for. We are in the loop and we're here to help, and we want to make sure that everything goes smoothly for everyone. So happy blogging, and I'll see you again next week.